Hey everybody. Hi, sorry this is a grossly late contribution to this discussion, but I finally have my site ready for you guys. As you can see, my choice for our site was by resources for youth and YA libraries. And so it's the BiBrarian, because haha, I had to make a pun. Yes, so this site, basically the intention of it is to talk to librarians and people who are selecting materials to go in school libraries and young adult libraries on how to look for bi-specific resources as they're going through the process of developing their LGBTQ collection, because I think it is important that that is not overlooked in as we're looking for books with gay characters or trans characters. This is really wonderful, but it's important to remember the non-monosexual part of LGBTQ. So the main part of this is mostly going to be a collection of books, which I have here in the Find Books in the main tab. But I also, to start off with, I included an introduction introducing librarians who watch this too, what the idea of the needs of bi plus individuals, biphobia and bi erasure, and to be aware of that occurring in books and media that they are distributing in their collections. And throughout I have links to important articles and concepts, both things that just back up statistics and that type of thing, but also for a little bit more explanation about what certain concepts are, like bi erasure. I do include their the San Francisco Human Rights Commission had an entire report published about this, so it gives a little bit more context for people who are wanting to dig a little bit deeper than my introduction. So yeah, so this would be something that would be, it's a very quick, very brief introduction to the types of issues that we want librarians to be thinking about, but also just it provides more resources if you want to look into further. So, but to the books. So I basically just collected through my research many young adult and children's books that include bi plus identified main characters. So these are protagonists, not just side characters who are of a bi plus identity to have in. And it's organized at the outset basically by publication date. So a few of these, because it's in blog form, like unfortunately, like I couldn't have dates if they're coming out in August or they're coming out in October, say. So a lot of them look like they're all coming out today, which this one actually did. But that's just the way I had to do that. And then I have tagged all of them so that they're searchable by particular other criteria. So if you're looking for just science fiction, you can have that. So it's not all, just contemporary romance. So there are a lot of those that deal with bisexual topics, but and then particularly things like male main characters, because there's a dearth of bisexual male representation in a lot of our media. So that's something I really wanted to make sure that was focused. And it was also really helpful for myself, just as I was collecting books, to make sure that that I was getting sort of a well-rounded representation there. And so I wanted to do, when I started this project, I wanted to do all sort of 0 to 18 reading levels for kids, but apparently there are, from what I was able to find out, there are literally only 2 books with bisexual protagonists that are middle grade or younger reading level. So that's something to watch out for, because there is really not a lot of representation there. So as those books hopefully start getting published more in the future, yeah, gotta watch out for that and make sure to have that representation in your collection. So also included just some bi terms here for people who are a little bit confused about what the differences between these terms mean. And I understand that in this, there's a lot of controversy or different opinions about what those mean. So I should probably add a little bit of disclaimer there. But yeah, just sort of an introduction to why we say bi plus rather than bisexual, what monosexual means, and those kinds of things that you'll come across in resources related to bi individuals, bi plus individuals. So, and then in addition to the books, I wanted to point, because that's still very limited and very much under my own sort of lens of like what I wanted in the collection, but lists to other collection development materials on the left here, book lists for specifically for bi books, and these will link to things like the Bisexual Book Awards finalists. I believe Otherbound was a bisexual book award winner at one point, if I remember that correctly. And then Bisexual Books, which has been a hugely important resource for me in this project, which you can sort, it's a Tumblr basically where you can search about books and reviews of books about bisexual identities, but also a lot of different identities that intersect with those and other orientations as well. So that's been really helpful. And then Gay YA, of course, awesome master lists, and LGBTQ Reads also has a great YA collection, which indicates specifically when main characters are on the bi plus spectrum, and a lot of other things too. Also just bi resources, places to point people, resources for youth specifically, because I think it's important to have bi specific resources for youth to be made available, because there are unique challenges that they face that aren't the same, but not the same as every identity in the LGBTQ community. So it's important to remember that. Links to the Trevor Project, which has questions, answers questions about bisexuality. It's really important. And then videos, just so for, as librarians are looking through and are trying to figure out what does it mean to look at your queer collection through a bisexual lens or a bi plus lens. We can have some short and sweet videos describing some of the main issues that you're seeing for bisexuals in both in the mainstream world at large and mainstream media, but also within the LGBT community, the specific issues they face, and particularly putting how to be an awesome bisexual ally at the top here for librarians who may not identify in that way to still learn what's the best to do. I'm sorry if it's getting really loud. There's somebody mowing the lawn outside. And I also just quickly wanted to add, these are creators who identify on the bi spectrum and who write for kids and young adults. Not all of them write characters. Let's see, usually there's a hovering. Sometimes this is odd here. All right. Sorry, that was usually when I hover. Sometimes I usually get their names to pop up, but I'll see if that works in a bit. But who identify on the bi plus spectrum themselves, their characters might not necessarily be bisexual, though a few of them do. C.B. Lee writes quite a bit about bisexual protagonists, as does Laura Lamb, but whose work nonetheless is ones that you should look into and support bisexual creators for children, including Margaret Wise Brown, who wrote Goodnight Moon, is apparently bisexual, which I found out, which is very fun. Yes, and then as well links to bisexual activists if you want to learn more about people who are writing about issues that bisexuals are facing today, and we'll give you can describe these issues a lot better than I did in my very short introduction. So yeah, so essentially, as I was putting this together, this website, I wanted it to not only just be, here's a link to like a cool book that is coming out about bisexual identities, but I also wanted it to be more comprehensive so that there is also information about the bisexual community at large, so that can be learned. So with these books, all these link to the review source that I used to verify them, basically. So you can just click through and find out whether that might be a good fit for your collection. And then I'll have its specific tags down here. So this is a great one. It's contemporary, female protagonist, person of color, YA, and it also includes topic mental illness. So that's fun to play around with a little bit. Oops. Yeah, here we go. So I don't know why it doesn't always do that. Yes, Rebecca Sugar is wonderful. These are just fun things and people and resources to explore as you're trying to build a bisexual collection. It's basically my intention for this this website. So yeah, if you guys want to play around with it, it's pretty fun. So I really enjoyed putting this together. So thanks for listening to this long and somewhat rambling introduction to my website. And this is the way this works, so that we can access it on the top bar or on these big, bold, beautiful bicolors down below here. So yeah, thanks a lot.